Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Jenny Gilruth really should consider her position and think about resigning, because she's making such a ham-fisted attempt at becoming the Education Secretary. She is failing on every metric, and it's leading to the fact that almost a third of children in Scotland are being left behind, forgotten about, ignored, regularly missing school. And nobody cares. Nobody is looking out for these kids. Why? Because I think she's only interested in looking for the high achievers to try and boost the educational results. If she can avoid the likes of the missing, the truants and that from ever actually sitting exams, it will stop Scotland sinking down the PISA tables, for example. I think it's deliberate policy. It certainly seems to be deliberate. There's other things that could be done, but she's choosing not to. And so this woman is not only failing her job, but she's failing the future of Scotland. Let's take a look. Scots children abandoned by the SNP as 1 in 3 pupils regularly miss school, and classrooms have become pressure cookers. And it isn't any wonder, of course, that there are so many teaching vacancies. And you have John Mason, the likes of John Mason, SNP guy, sitting there saying that teachers are an unaffordable luxury. The SNP truly have given up on educating children. And it's got to be policy. It can't be anything other than official policy. They don't want an educated population because educated people ask the wrong sort of questions, don't they? Anyway, Jenny Gilruth has been urged to step in to solve the crisis within Scottish schools as absence levels soars and teachers continue to worry about violence. One of the problems you have is under the school system in Scotland, you can't just throw a kid out. Head teachers don't actually have the power to throw children out of school and exclude them. And so a teacher could walk in, get physically or even sexually abused by a child, and then the school is obliged to keep the child in the school. So the teacher will run in again and again to the same child. Now, if the headmaster or headmistress, whatever, was to say, right, no, that's unacceptable, bang, you're out, go, and just throw them out of school. That's it, bop. Refer them to local authority. Said, go to the local authority. They'll teach you, and leave it. Just say we're not having you. And of course, the thing is, and this is absolutely, the law is entirely on the side of the teacher. If, for example, a teacher has been abused by a pupil, that teacher may, under the law, remain at home on full pay until the health and safety issue has been addressed, because it is a Health and Safety at Work Act issue. That teacher's been harmed in the course of his or her work, therefore it's a health and safety issue, and they're entitled to remain at home on full pay until that issue is dealt with. And that's all it takes. All it takes is once a teacher has been either physically assaulted or sexually assaulted, is that they stay at home on full pay and say, let me know when it's safe to go back into the classroom, and that child will not be in that school, in that environment. And if every teacher did it, and there were no teachers in the schools, let me tell you, the policy would change like that. Teachers, you have the power. Use the law. If you don't, the problems will only get worse. And of course, it's a very high stress job because of the class sizes growing. The class sizes are growing because there's not enough teachers, and there's not enough teachers because all the stress is on. And on top of that now, they want to tax them even more. So what do teachers do? Scottish teachers are moving to England in droves. England's got a glut of teachers at the moment because you've got all these Scottish teachers coming down going, here's a job. No problem. The SNP have been accused of abandoning Scottish children after it was revealed that 1 in 3 pupils regularly miss school, which is an increase on last year. And the overall classroom attendance rate also fell again to 90% in 22-23, down from 92% in 2020-21. This is before the COVID pandemic. Life in schools was also described as a pressure cooker, amid other issues, including violence against teachers, a lack of staff to cover lessons. Scottish Government Education Secretary Jenny Gilruth was urged to get a grip on the crisis before it's too late. I believe it's already too late. And she's not capable of getting a grip. She does not have the skill set. She does not have the ability to face down Humza Yousaf and say, look, give me money, give me teachers, or I'm out of here. I am not going to stand and watch a Scottish school system fail on my watch. I'll let someone else have the failure. That's my dog coming in, did you hear? Hello, son. But unless you put the resources into this, there will be no education system in Scotland. And that will be a failure. A failure for an entire generation of school children. And that's what the SNP have done. They have failed. And what they're doing is they're not just failing these kids now. They're failing these kids for the rest of their lives. That is absolute humiliation of a failure from this SNP government. But it's such a tragedy for these kids. Latest figures revealed that schools had recorded an increase in both authorised and unauthorised absences, with sickness and truancy the two most common reasons. Almost a third, 32.5% of pupils were classed as being persistent absentees. Now, why is the old truant officer not going around, not finding out these things? Why are the parents not being held to account? What's wrong? Is it because the local authorities haven't got truant officers anymore? Because they can't afford to keep them? Because this stupid council tax freeze imposed for, the purpose of giving Humza Yousaf a hard-on at conference? That's great, isn't it? Humza Yousaf, shitty little speech. I know, being light bulb moment. And what's the upshot? Kids losing education. In a further blow to the SNP, kids in the poorest parts of Scotland had a lower attendance rate than those youngsters in the more affluent communities, 86.8% compared with 93.5% in the best areas. Opposition critics have blasted the government. It's that poverty attainment gap again that they say is Westminster's fault, that they say is Brexit's fault, that they say the big boy did it and ran away. No, SNP policy is creating the attainment gap because they really just don't care. It's policy. They know what they're doing. They're being told in advance, if you do this, this will happen. They know, and then they do. And then they go, well, we didn't expect that to happen. Must be Westminster's fault. No, Humza Yousaf, it's your fault. And it's your fault twice. Once for being First Minister, but secondly for appointing Jenny Gilruth, a moron, into a role that requires quite a bit of intelligence and someone with a pair of balls who can change policy and say to head teachers, problem pupils, get rid. And get rid of every problem pupil out of every school. Let the ones remaining who do behave themselves, that aren't problems, flourish, and put all the problem pupils into a school with very, very big men, with big frightening men, and put the fear into the kids. And when they truant, you go round and you find the parents. You find the parents. You find the parents. Make it the parents' problem, not the school's problem. And if the parents know they're going to get fined because the kid hasn't gone to school, those parents make sure those kids go to school. Coming up. Now, yes, this is a problem. And it isn't curable when you've got Jenny Gilruth there. She's just not able. She can't. I don't think anyone in the SNP current front bench can. I don't think there's any of them clever enough, talented enough, brave enough to actually tackle the problem. That's what happens when you have a party filled with people of very low achievement, very low intelligence. There's not many bright ones. There are a few bright sparks in there. Although you wonder, you think if they were that clever, why would they have joined the SNP? It is weird. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I do hope that's been enlightening. More so than the kids are going to get. More enlightening than the kids are going to get rather at school, isn't it? Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.